All right, hey everybody. Today we're going to be working on a highlighting technique called reverse diagonals. This particular technique we're going to work right off the horseshoe. You can do this technique as an all-over highlighting technique. However, for today, we're going to just be working the horseshoe. So we're going to section off our mannequin in a horseshoe. So this technique is incredibly versatile. Gives you, as you all know, working off of diagonals is an outstanding way to break up geometry on a head shape. I'm going to subdivide the horseshoe into 3 separate sections. So we can work this shape. Yeah, that wasn't very good. I think that one's giving out on me. Let's bust out the good old jaw clippies. Here we go. Take that. Okay, so again, separating this into thirds. We'll be starting in the front section of this horseshoe. Okay. So let me get some gloves on and we'll begin. Okay, so what I'm working with today is I've got some Matrix 6N, and I have some of the 8 of the Matrix Lightener and 20 volume in each of those. So what we're going to do is we're going to start on the front section of this with a slight diagonal parting going across. So my parting looks like this. Okay. Again, we're going to follow the same basic rules that we have followed all along. I'm going to scoop some of this out. When we're starting around a hairline, we should always be extra careful. I would avoid grabbing too much hair. So what I'm going to do with this, I've got a fair amount in the front. We're going to start with one section, but because this has had previous color done on it, I'm going to do something a little different. Okay, I'm going to start off by putting some low light color right on this first piece. Okay. So this piece, as I take it down. Now you may do this or may not want to do this. It will all really depend on whether or not you have color in the front that you want to resolve something with. Okay, so that's my first 2 foils. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna alternate between a slice and a weave for the rest of this technique. But I am not going to just slap on every piece of hair in between. Remember how I said that, I've said it many times, that the more colors you kind of get going in the hair, I think the better the cut starts looking, or the color starts looking, the more dimension it adds. So I'm gonna drop some pieces out as I go so that there maintains, we don't just have the 2 colors we're working with, but we also are leaving some of our original color out to be kind of a 3rd color. So I'm taking not even like 1/4 inch sections, give or take. Again, I would, if you aren't used to slicing thin or for weaving shallow, I would go ahead and take a slice from that. Again, I'd be very careful about weaving right up to that point. So I'm gonna drop that little piece out. Okay, now we're going to go in again. This is a slice for color. So take a little bit less. And again, only taking half of it. The other half I'm dropping out. This is a fairly quick technique. You can toss a head of foils in and probably have them in a half an hour. So you could do this really quick. It's a great way to get rid of, again, get rid of unwanted geometry. So if you get someone that has kind of those stripy color stripes across the top, we lovingly call stripper stripes. This is a wonderful technique to use to get rid of those. And we're folding in thirds because we want nice, clean edges. Okay, that was a lightener, so this one's low light. Okay, we're just finishing up this row. So the name of this technique again is reverse diagonals. So what do you think we're going to do on this next row? That's right, we're going to reverse the direction of the diagonals. Okay, so if we drop out this piece now, if all of these went this way, okay, then which direction does all this go? It goes that way, okay? So we're gonna just go ahead and start with this front piece. We ended with a for the highlight, correct? Yes. So we're going to start with a low light. And you will notice that I'm not quite as particularly concerned with my low lights as I am with my highlights. Since we're basically taking this mannequin back to natural on these, I'm assuming that they're going to blend pretty well. But even though I'm still not going all the way to the scalp. I don't know if you happen to pay attention to that or not. But I still go right down to the scalp. I don't go onto the scalp. We could have very well have done this with a root shade if my client had any white, any gray hair. I very well may have put a root shade on her. That way we ensure 100% gray coverage. For the sake of this exercise. Alrighty. Okay, so now we're coming down to that last one. All of our foils went this way, so they're going to go back that way. Sound correct? So we can pin this a little out of the way. So again, these are going off this way, so we're going to come in, kind of go T over to that side. And this time, instead of going forward, these are all going to kind of come back. We ended on a dark piece, so I'm going to go ahead and start with a light piece. Start with a weave, not a slice. You know, it doesn't have to be this way. It's not that they line up any particular way. It's just a good practice to get into, actually. Because there's a whole lot of cases where that does matter. And I try not to put lowlights against lowlights and highlights against highlights. I find that it minimizes the amount of dark spots and hot spots on the head when we get done. Okay, this is going to be my last one. We're going to finish on the slice, the low light. Okay, so reverse diagonals. Here we go.